There it is, the buzzer of the first stage. That is the place that every single competitor who's about to make it onto that starting line wants to get to. There's going to be 100 competitors this tournament as per usual, and kicking it off, while they are a newcomer, they do have a past with this course. It's Selectus Felonus. Again, they are a newcomer, however, Perfuji, as you can see on the starting line, has been their training partner. You could consider Selectus Felonus as their protege, I guess. Last tournament, Perfuji did not complete the course and achieve Kanzen Seiha. However, he was able to make it to the balance take on stage 2. That's better than a lot of competitors have ever made it on this course. So with that skill, there's a good chance that we could see a repeat performance from Selectus Felonus. However, this first stage is a lot harder than any first stage we've ever seen in the past. And it all kicks off with the brand new first obstacle, Boyoishi. These 14 pedestals, you could call them stones if you wanted to. He's able to make his way through that, and now he's on to the silk slider. This obstacle has been one of the most feared obstacles in every single tournament, and it's back again. Here we go. And he misses the dismount. Selectus Felonus wipes out there at the end of the silk slider. However, that's still a very good first performance considering all the runs that we've had in the past. Our second competitor up to the course today is Ashlyn Zach 1719. Again, we're going to be seeing a lot of newcomers this tournament. However, he's had a lot of high hopes going into this run. Only one competitor has run so far, so we do have a 1-for-1 clear rate here on this first obstacle, Boyoishi. Looks like we might have 2-for-2 if he's able to make it through, and that's exactly what he has done. Silk Slider gotta make his way through to that dismount platform. This obstacle now has a drop in the track that makes it even harder, but he nails that landing platform. And now we're going to see the first look at the third obstacle today, Whirlpool. These first two cyclones, they are the exact same as they were last tournament. This first transition was such a problem for a lot of competitors. But Ashlyn Zach, no problems whatsoever. And now on to the second transition of this obstacle. This is where the most changes on this obstacle is. That final cyclone spins a lot slower, and this dismount's incredibly difficult. He lands it. 3 obstacles down, 5 to go. Coming up on obstacle 4, Swinging Forest. Gotta get that mount into the obstacle first, and that's exactly what he's done! Oh, come on, Ashlyn Zach, 1719. A great mount on the Swinging Forest, however, could not bridge that gap in between the ropes, and his first performance at Robloxian SASUKE is now over. As we move on to our next competitor, or returning competitor from Tournament 1, Survivor Fan 09, better known as Xander. Back in Tournament 1, he was one of only 4 competitors to fail the quarter bridge, which was a previous third obstacle on this stage. Whirlpool's there now. It's a lot harder, but he's got to reach that point first. A lot slower of a pace here on Boyoishi than a lot of other competitors. This obstacle is pretty much a maze. You have to figure out the right path to get your way to the end of the obstacle. Survivor Fan 09 could not find that right path here on this run. Came up short of that stone and could not make his way to the landing platform, and a rematch with the third obstacle is gonna have to wait for another tournament. Robloxian SASUKE's second tournament picked off right where we left off. Old and new competitors stepped up to the new and improved 4-stage obstacle course once again. Despite the harder course, the competitors fought back. As more took their first steps onto the course, the higher the number of victors climbed. It was almost as if success would be imminent, with some of our best athletes on track to take down the tower. But still, no one was able to break through to the third stage landing platform, with even the best splashing down and coming up short. 200 attempts later, and the final stage still remains unattempted. But with a new tournament, that could always change, and for the better. Another set of 100 competitors have returned to Midoriyama, more determined for victory than ever before. With 1,000 Robux up on the line, can any of our skilled athletes step up to the challenge and achieve Kanzen Seiha? They've got one shot, one goal, and one dream here on Robloxian SASUKE Tournament 3. Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Dorino, and welcome back to Robloxian SASUKE. For the third time, competitors from all walks of life have assembled to take down the final stage tower for the collective goal of Kanzen Seiha. Today, we're kicking off the tournament with the first 30 of our 100 competitors. These include experienced ninjas coming back for revenge, newcomers who want to make their mark, and so many more. Someone who I'm excited to watch run today is Cheese VIP. Cheese is coming back for his third tournament here at Robloxian SASUKE, and he has always been someone to watch out for on this course. However, both times he's ran, he's gone down early on the silk slider. Will third time be the charm for such a successful competitor elsewhere? Another competitor I've got my eyes on is Wipeout Boy 10, better known as Jack is Trash. Jack is a very consistent competitor in the Minecraft ninja scene, but has never really made the switch to another game. With this being his first time doing so, can Jack's skills carry over and give him a stellar newcomer run? We've seen so many make the jump over to a different game, help increase their overall skill, so Jack does have that history on his side. Those two and 27 others will be starting off their tournament here on the first stage. The first stage is the starting off point for every competitor who runs, and if you can't hit that buzzer at the end of the course, then your tournament is over. The stage kicks off with Boyoishi, 14 rounded pedestals that competitors must bounce their way through to reach the end. Finding a path that works for you is key for success on this obstacle. Get through that and you're on to the returning silk slider. While the most notable change on the obstacle is now that there is a drop halfway through, the most difficult change is in its landing, where if you veer too much to one side, you'll be stunned off that platform. Following that is Whirlpool, where 2/3 of the obstacle remains the same. That first transition is just as deadly as it was last time, but this last cyclone spins slightly slower than it did before, and this dismount off of it has been increased by a large amount. Beat that and Swinging Forest is up next. Swing your way through a series of 5 sets of ropes and reach the dismount platform, but be wary of one difference. The final 2 sets of ropes now ascend, making it even harder to get your way through that obstacle. Sorry Tatsuka Bay awaits competitors afterwards, and aside from a new coat of paint, it remains unchanged. All you gotta do is beat that wall. After that is a new obstacle to the stage, Defying Gravity. 3 angled walls that you've got to suspend yourself from and to transition between. Go too high and you'll hit the blocker, and go too low and you'll miss the next wall altogether. Tarzan rope begins the final stretch of obstacles on this first stage, with the drop of the rope being longer and more forceful as a result. All that remains after that is Tarzan Nabori. Climb your way up that rope as fast as you possibly can to hit that button at the end of the course. However, you're still not out of the woods yet, as only those who can do so within the 80-second time limit can punch their ticket to the second stage. Every other competitor that can't is eliminated. Three competitors down, but 97 more are still in the running to become the first grand champion of Robloxian SASUKE. And the fourth competitor here on the course might be the most equipped out of every runner so far to make it to the end of the course. It's Muffin Power 1234. Now, Muffin hasn't really been that much of a notable person recently. However, back in Ninja Warrior of Roblox Rising's first tournament, Muffin was able to make it through the first stage, a feat that no one has been able to accomplish this tournament. Even in fact, no one's been able to make it halfway through this course. Muffin's got a chance to make it far here, break new ground as she's onto the obstacle, making her way through. This is going to be a little higher as she doesn't get it. Did not have enough height to make it to that next stone. Was able to whiff it, could not stay on. And I have to say, this is a pretty shocking result given her skill. However, some time away from the course can definitely do that to someone. Gamer1222B is back on Robloxian SASUKE for a second time, coming face to face with the obstacle he failed last time. Silk Slider got that drop, but doesn't get that landing. Had it for a second, got stunned off, and he's out there yet again. Alalan in the book slash gets the dismount there on the Silk Slider, officially reaching uncharted territory on the course. Whirlpool can be a pretty hard obstacle considering it's his first time here. He goes, oh, he doesn't go for it. Alalan in the book saws looked like he went for it and then psyched himself out, and now he's in the water. Just here for Josh Lur, better known as Kei Nakasugi, made it all the way to the second stage of the World Ninja League World Championship during Season 9. So we're gonna see if he can do better. No, he can't. Kei Nakasugi out on the first jump of the course, doing even worse than he did in Tournament 1. Wubsy AUTTP is back here for his second try of Robloxian SASUKE. Last time went down a Whirlpool, and it might not even be a next time. This might be his last time here. And he closes out his career potentially with the first obstacle fail out on Boyoishi. And with that, our next competitor on the course is returning for his third time, with that competitor being Cheese VIP. Cheese VIP has been a longtime member of the community, with his most notable claim to fame being his Kanzen Seiha in Title Warriors' second tournament. 2021 would truly be the best year of his career, as his success would continue throughout that year. He had a streak of third stage appearances in competitions such as Sasuke Dynamite, however none of those runs would end with another final stage attempt. His attempts in Sasuke Dynamite would slowly dwindle in success as he would continue to fail earlier and earlier into his runs with each attempt, culminating in him failing the first obstacle of the second stage in Sasuke Dynamite 6. When Robloxian SASUKE rolled around, hopes were high given his past success. However, in both of his attempts, Cheese has yet to see much luck. Despite putting in loads of practice, he has gone down on the second obstacle both times. With 2 tournaments under his belt already, Cheese wants this third attempt to be the best try that he can possibly give. All he has to do is execute at the perfect time. Cheese has so much skill, but not a lot of that has translated here so far. He did consider last tournament as kind of a joke run, however, he didn't really put in that much skill, effort, or really that much care into his run whatsoever, so it didn't really matter where he failed. However, this tournament, Cheese means business, and that's pretty shown right there. He got through Boyoishi really quickly. He front forward faced it, however, he did not fail. He kept going, which is the smart move, but here is Silk Slider. Land that dismount! That is exactly what Cheese VIP has done here. He's through the Silk Slider. Looks like he's celebrating a little bit back there. Whatever gets you through that obstacle, and now uncharted territory is here for Cheese VIP. Whirlpool, good first transition there. Looks like that practice is truly paying off, unlike last tournament, taking this tournament a lot more seriously. Just got this dismount left, and he's got that too, and is now on to Swinging Forest. As a veteran and a former commentator of Sasuke Dynamite, this obstacle has been featured in a few tournaments in some forms of capacity. So he's got that experience, but it doesn't correlate to this run. Had a good swing, but not a good enough transition there on the obstacle. And Cheese VIP out on the Swinging Forest, but still, that is a great run. He came in here with low expectations, but high desires. But thankfully, he was able to finally get through Silk Slider and get himself that personal best that he's been longing for. The next to attempt the course is WhatBoy70. However, he's better known under his previous username, Just a Person. He was able to make it to the Swinging Forest last tournament, just like a few competitors have this tournament. However, just like them, he was not able to make it through. So he's gonna try and make it back to that point. However, he has had concerns on Boyoishi, but he just demolishes it there. Just ran straight through it, and that's gotta be one of the cleanest attempts that we've seen so far. Silk Slider is up next. Perfect landing there from WhatBoy70. Looks like he's having a lot stronger of a run than he had last tournament, as he's now entering Whirlpool, going for this first transition, and he's got it too. A little over 50 seconds left for WhatBoy70, making his way to the end of Whirlpool. This is a great pace to make on this first stage. Audio! He almost failed that dismount. That was a close call. However, he jumped and he was able to make it through. But here is the obstacle he failed last tournament. This transition right here. And he made it through. Uncharted territory here for WhatBoy70. Coming up on this dismount, and he's got it. First competitor today to attempt Soaring Tatsukabe, and he's got that too. Alright, we are going to get our first look at the brand new 6th obstacle of this tournament, Defying Gravity. These 6 angled walls coming up on this last transition, and he's got it. Alright, 2 obstacles left for the first stage. Beginning with Tarzan Rope, the klaxon sounds. No! WhatBoy70 loses his stability on the rope. Darn, oh come on, WhatBoy70. And you can tell that he is not happy about that result whatsoever. However, it's not a surprise that he went out in the way he did given his strategy. He did start out forwards, but he did angle himself towards the end. However, he angled himself too much. He was not connected with the rope whatsoever. So once he reached that wall, he collided with it, and then once the rope hit the wall, he flung off of that rope and projected sideways. And that's going to send WhatBoy70 into the water for the second tournament in a row. However, this is a better performance than last tournament, and that needs to be appreciated. For the third time, Golden Canadian is back on the Robloxian SASUKE starting line. Every single attempt he's had here, he's been able to improve by 1 obstacle. Went down on Quintuple Steps in Tournament 1, and went down on Silk Slider last tournament. Quintuple Steps are gone, and they're replaced by a harder obstacle here, Boyoishi. Oh, and he's looking back at the starting line. That's not the right way to go. You need to re-angle himself, but he's already lost 10 seconds. He's looking really confused, and now he's going back to the starting platform. This is not the ideal strategy for any obstacle on the course, you're not really supposed to go back to the starting line because there is a time limit to 80 seconds. It is longer than it was last tournament. However, with the addition of another obstacle to the stage, this means that this is the strictest first stage that we've ever seen. And now, Golden's aspiring to become the first person to ever time out on the first obstacle. Half the time limit's already gone. He hasn't even made it to the second stone. He keeps flip-flopping between the starting line and the first stone. Almost 50 seconds have evaporated from Golden Canadian here as he continues to waste his time and our time on this course. It's pretty much safe to say that he is not going to improve on any of his previous two results, because even if he does start going by this point, there's no way he's going to make it to Whirlpool at any point, given this horrific pace. And he's on to the starting line again. The klaxon sounding off. Can he at least get on the obstacle when the time expires? Doesn't look like it. Golden Canadian is out on the starting line. We're still going to count that as a Boyoishi fail because technically he touched the first step. So even if that's not the most ideal result, it most definitely is a historic one. So congratulations. Lone Avenger 593's already setting up a pretty good first impression as he's already through Silk Slider, now coming face to face with Whirlpool. Making it look pretty easy so far too. On his way down to the final cyclone of this obstacle, going for that dismount. Can't get it. Thought he had it, but unfortunately it's not enough to get him through that obstacle. Tom Gowie's a pretty popular name in Roblox Ninja, as seen by his giant crowd of supporters there on the sidelines. Here we go, Tom Gowie's first attempt at Robloxian SASUKE is already over, and he quits the game too. Just 3 jumps into the tournament, and that's it for him. He's out. Love Kitty XO is back here on Robloxian SASUKE at Whirlpool, which she failed last tournament. She failed this position right here, trying to get a better attempt. Little bit disorientated. Here she goes for it. She cannot make the transition. She went for it, but once again could not connect to that second platform, taking her out. Coming up next is everyone's favorite troll, I Am Marfin 2. Now, if you don't know who this is one of K-Fly's ults. Yeah, so K-Fly ulted a lot in this competition, especially this tournament. So we're just gonna keep going through this course. Obviously, any runs that he had been just removed from the broadcast. This one slipped through the cracks. It's already been processed, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Don't ult, K-Fly, you're just a menace to this community because that's all you do. But I do have to say, you're really skilled because you're making your way through this course pretty quickly. Almost 50 seconds are left on the clock. Now he's at 50. Right, making his way on to that final cyclone. Can he get this dismount? And that's exactly what he's done. Now, I Am Orphan 2, K-Fly, whatever you want to call him, he was able to make it to the 3rd stage in Dew's Warrior. And he's out on the Swinging Forest. Can't really have any remorse if you repeatedly run the competition on different accounts, because that's kind of defeats the one shot, one goal, one dream rule that we see in pretty much every ninja competition. So, good riddance. And we're now on to a competitor that's actually a competitor. This is a main account. This is Roblox Gabby 20, not an alternative account. We are back to seeing real people run this course. Roblox Gabby 20, a newcomer on this course. However, they have a lot to prove on this course. They've had a lot of desires to make it far on this course. On to Boyoishi there, almost went down on that 4th transition there. However, looks like they're having a steady pace now as they're making their way through Boyoishi. One more stone and they're through that too. That took almost 20 seconds to get through that first obstacle though, so they're gonna need to pick up the pace if they want to make it through. The Silk Slider dismount cannot connect with that platform. Looked like they just completely overshot it too. Barely whiffed the end of that platform, got stunned, and that's it. And now, it's time for a fan-favorite competitor to attempt this course. It's Ryzen726. Ryzen's a newcomer here at the course, but however, they are not a newcomer to this community. They have been making headlines on a lot of courses, making it far in mini competitions and regular competitions alike. So their skill is definitely something that we are looking forward to see on this course. 17 competitors. The first 16 have failed. Ryzen's trying to make it 1 out of 17 through Boyoishi without a problem. Almost at quintuple steps, but now they're making it way through the Silk Slider with a bit of lag. Can't make it through. They had that dismount, but they veered a little bit to the left and they missed the succeeding platform. That is a shame. Up next on the course is Brando4433. This is his second try here at Robloxian SASUKE. In last tournament, he was the first to attempt the course and the first to attempt Whirlpool. Ultimately, he went down on the obstacle, but in a very unique way. He didn't touch the water. He tried to go back to the starting platform, but just ended up missing and went into an out-of-bounds area. So Brando, he's got to improve here, making his way through Boyoishi here and now onto Silk Slider. These two obstacles have truly been the problem. The problems for all of our competitors today onto Silk Slider, and he's 2 for 2 on that. Now he's finally able to get his rematch here with Whirlpool that he's been waiting for so long. Finding his way through this first cyclone, already better than he did last tournament. Oh, and he doesn't get that! He was able to make it to the transition, but could not make it to that second cyclone. So even if this is a personal best, still didn't make it all too far. DJ Jumpman23 has been someone who's very excited to get a run in here for Robloxian SASUKE. He's been having a great run as well, making his way through Whirlpool, coming up on this last one right here. No, DJ Jumpman23 thought he had it. A little bit too late there on the release, and he comes up short. Rich Squig, self-proclaimed second best mobile player in history, is on a swinging force, a lot better than his previous result from last tournament. Just gotta navigate himself through these ropes, not enough swing. Almost went down there on the first swing, but then just didn't have enough swing to make it through on that second one, and that sent him into the water. Sports at 123 back here for his second attempt here at Robloxian SASUKE. Gonna try and make it back to the Silk Slider to get his revenge as he's making his way through Boyoishi, almost at the end of the obstacle. Oh, and he loses his stability. He doesn't get the jump off of that stone, and that sends him into the water. Can't make it back. Up next is a notable competitor from Minecraft Ninja, with that competitor being Wipeout Boy 10, better known as Jack is Trash. Jack's yet to see much luck in Roblox Ninja, but in the Minecraft scene, Jack is one of their most capable competitors. Jack has continuously made it to third stages time and time again on a variety of courses, until that culminated in him beating the third stage in Ender Challenge 9. With the final stage looming, Jack would ultimately be unable to reach the top in time and end his run right then and there. However, with it being shown that given the right circumstances, he could make it to the top, Jack kept fighting, but he has not seen the same success as he did before. So, now Jack's here on Roblox Ninja, Robloxian SASUKE to be more precise, and he's here to see if he can have any of those skills that he had in Minecraft Ninja contribute over here. As we saw with Galactic Says Hi, who's going to be running a little bit later, he ran both back in Tournament 1 and Tournament 2. That can correlate to success here. Galactic was around 3 seconds away from clearing the first stage last tournament, so even if he didn't clear, he got pretty close. So with that training in mind, Jack is Trash might be able to get to that point and even surpass it, but this first stage has been so hard to complete so far. No one has been able to make it. We're currently 0 for 21 on this course. That is not a good sign whatsoever, as he lags a little bit there on Whirlpool, but he's making his way through there. Good recovery, and now heading onto this final cyclone. A good path, he's got that too. Now let's dismount. You can't count out this dismount, going for it, and he's got that too. A little bit of a stun there, but now Jack is Trash. 40 seconds left, 5 obstacles left. He's gonna need to pick up that pace as he's into swinging force. Got a swing. Oh, he doesn't get it. Had a good swing there, but it looks like he didn't get virtually any swing on that second swing, or lack thereof a second swing, and just went for it, and that sent him into the water. Coming up to the starting line right now is the return of Tishel04. Now, we haven't seen him since 2019, I believe. So Tishel, 5 years. 5 years ago was the last time we saw him. Now, Tishel, better known as Mitch, he has been practicing extensively for almost every single competition under the sun since his return. Looks like it's paying off so far as he's making his way through Boyoishi a little bit slower than recommended. Thought he was about to come up short there on that stone. A Gates disaster. And is the next competitor today to make it to Silk Slider. This obstacle, pretty hard given 2019 standards, pretty hard given today's standards. Tishel04 could not make it onto that landing platform. His first performance here at Robloxian SASUKE ends up with him splashing down on the second obstacle, but it's still a good run. 23 competitors have run this first stage. Our next competitor is going to be Competitor 24, and it's a pretty notable name in this community. It's Jacozy. Now, Jacob, he has been someone who has been gaining a lot of notoriety recently, and as number 24, this could definitely be a deciding factor on the success of this tournament as a whole. Back in Tournament 1, number 24, Dipcade Joe was able to make it all the way to the 3rd stage. He was able to become the 2nd person to clear the 1st stage in that tournament, and by this point last tournament, we already had 2 clears. Now, runner 24, we don't even have 1. So it's safe to say that this 1st stage has definitely taken an unexpected turn as he's now onto Whirlpool, going for that first transition, and he stuck it nicely. A good pace here coming up on the 3rd Cyclone of Whirlpool, and he's got that too. This dismount cannot be underestimated, and he's got that, and now we're on to the Swinging Forest once again. This obstacle, only Wetboy 70 has been the victor on this obstacle. Gotta navigate your way through these ropes. Almost went down there on that first one. Trying to collect himself, I'm assuming, as he's now making his way to the end of this obstacle. Just the dismount awaits for him, taking a few swings, and he's got it. Alright, Jacuzzi, now Soritatsuka Bay, and he's got that too. Alright, Defying Gravity, good transition there. Now he's got a flip, got that. Alright, 2 obstacles left. Tarzan ropes up next. No one's been able to beat this. And he hangs on just barely. And now Tarzan and Bori, all that remains for him. The clock ticking down. Just maintain that composure. Come on, Jacuzzi. Make your way to the top. And we have a clear. 3.5 seconds left on the clock. Jacuzzi, the first to hold this distinction on this course. We are going to see a 2nd stage, and the first competitor to attempt it will be Jacuzzi. That is a great run from him. Now he blazed his way through the first obstacle and kept a steady pace until Swinging Forest. Took a little bit of some breathers there to collect himself. However, he was still able to make it through the obstacle and make his way into the 2nd half of the course. Defying Gravity nailed that transition there, and on Tarzan rope, he was able to make his way to that point and stay on it just barely. Any farther and he would have definitely fallen off. But thankfully, that did not happen, and Jacuzzi has made his way to the 2nd stage. 24 attempts and 1 clear. The run that we have been waiting for so long has finally arrived, and that has come from Jacuzzi. And now that one person's made it through the 1st stage, the sky is the limit. Following up that run, we got number 25, NES5. Now, this is going to be NES's 3rd attempt here at Robloxian SASUKE. Like a lot of competitors, he's been steadily improving with every single run that he's had. Last tournament, like many, he went down on that first transition of Whirlpool. So, we're going to see if today, with that added experience, he can make it to that point and surpass it. We've already had 1 clear. Who knows what's going to happen by this point, as NES5 is on to his 3rd attempt at Robloxian SASUKE! Whoa! What happened? Oh, wow! And he is out seconds into his run! I am at a loss for words right now. That is such a shocking fail. What happened to make him fail there? It looks like he jumped way too early on that first step, on that first stone. And when he made contact with it, he thought he was on top of it. So naturally, he jumped because he thought he was going to make it to the 2nd stone. But no, he jumped back onto the starting platform and then just walked off of it. And that gap in between the starting platform and that first stone is wide enough for him just to fall into that gap. And that's it for his run. And this shocking fail takes NES out. As we're now on to our 26th competitor to attempt the 1st stage, Ezra Ninja 777. Ezra, one of the newest additions to this community, he's had a lot of aspirations to have a really good result in almost every competition that he runs. However, after seeing NES's run, I have no idea what's going to happen for essentially the rest of the tournament. He's got 80 seconds on the clock, just like everyone else. Ezra Ninja 777's first attempt at Robloxian SASUKE is here. Taking some time on the starting line, not really the most recommended strategy. As we saw with Golden, you can literally time up on the starting line now. Never thought that was a possibility, but considering him, that's now something that can happen. And Ezra finally onto his run, but 20 seconds are down the drain already, as he's just now making it through the halfway point on Boyoishi. He's got a good path. Don't know how good his jumps are going to be as he makes his way onto these final few stones, jumping very sporadically on these few, trying to make sure that he maximizes his stability, and he's through that obstacle. 1 obstacle cleared, and he has less than half the time limit left. Oh! Thought he missed that. Barely was able to make his way onto that landing platform, but with less than 30 seconds left, it is not looking good for Ezra Ninja on Whirlpool, and he continues to go very slowly, and he rushes it. The only time he went fast on this run was when he rushed that transition. And that's ultimately when he went out. A very slow run from Ezra. Better luck next time. Coming up to the starting line is the next competitor to attempt the first stage, XEFZ. Like a lot of competitors, again, they are a newcomer. They're looking to make their mark on this course like many other competitors. Here they go, XEFZ onto the first stage, and they are moving fast compared to Ezra's run last tournament. That is definitely a step in the right direction and did not take 40 seconds to complete the first obstacle. It actually took around 10 seconds. But XCFC, a great pace as they're already through the first 2 obstacles in the time that it took Ezra to get off the starting platform. So XCFC making their way now onto the Whirlpool. A good approach here. Got that! Great timing here from XCFZ as they're now on to that final cyclone. Gonna see what they're gonna do on this dismount. Gets the wrap, and they get the dismount too. Alright, Swinging Force is up next. Looking like they're gonna line it up instead of going straight for it. Smart move. Now it's just the navigating part. A lot of swing! Oh! Too far back on that rope. Oh! It looks like what happened is XCFZ did not have their character far enough on the rope to stay on. So when it started moving forward again, they just did not connect with it, and that means that they're out. Up next on the course is Kyle Chambay 2. Last tournament, Kyle went down on Whirlpool like so many others. He's a very skilled competitor, as we've seen in a lot of different other competitions. He's made it far. However, like a lot of people, as I've said, he's not been able to make it through Whirlpool, and not a lot of people have even been able to make it to Whirlpool today. This course has been very crazy today, but he's able to get through Boyoishi with a little bit of a spontaneous technique. He thought he was going one way, changed his mind, and then went the other way, but now he's on to Silk Slider. Gotta go for this dismount, and that's exactly what he did. He went front facing on that dismount, but it was able to get himself through, and now he's onto Whirlpool, taking some time there on that starting platform, though. Looked like he was going to size up the obstacle before going for it. Might have been nerves, might have not been nerves, because he had a really good he's having a really good technique on this obstacle. Just this amount of weights, and he's going fast too. 45 seconds are left on the clock. Half the time limit left, and he's already onto the 4th obstacle of the stage. Got to get these transitions right, and that's exactly what he's doing. Lining up each of these jumps, just the dismount of weights, taking a few extra swings here on this dismount cautiously, but he gets it right there. Sorry, Tatsuka is the next obstacle left for Kyle Chanbeg 2 to face. Cannot get it up in one attempt, so he's gonna have to try for a second attempt here. Running up towards it, cannot get it here, and this is where the time is. You're gonna start looking at the time. He gets up at 3. He needs to go. Defying Gravity is up next for Kyle Chanbeg 2. Got that third wall, and now 2 obstacles left, but they're not that bad. But the time is bad. Able to get through Tarzan rope. Just gotta maintain your composure, Kyle. 4 seconds left. You're almost there. You got this. Come on, Kyle. He stumbles. No, Kyle. Kyle falls off with Tarzan to Bori. Around halfway up, he loses his jump, and that's just when the downward spiral begins. He had it. Don't know if he would have had it with the time, but he definitely had the possibility of making it up to the top, and you can tell that he's happy about it, but you know that he wanted more. He was going up, but in the rush, it looks like he jumped a little bit too late, and as a result, that caused him to slip down. And since he thought he was still going up, his finger was still on the spacebar, and when that happened, he jumped and flung himself off. And it's not like he could have been able to grab any of the lower ropes, because he wasn't anticipating that happening. So as a result, he fell, and he just missed it, and that's going to send Kyle Chambig out on the first stage for his second tournament. So close to the end. Corrupted Warlord is back here for his 3rd attempt at Robloxian SASUKE. Each attempt he's had, he's been slowly improving. Went down on Silk Slider in Tournament 1, went down on Whirlpool in Tournament 2, and actually almost beat Whirlpool last time. Went down on the dismount, just barely grabbed it. So with that dismount being even harder today, we're going to see if he can make it back to that point and surpass it. But doing that is no easy feat, and you can tell he is nervous about the first obstacle in particular. Looks like he's, definitely nervous, taking it a lot slower. Gonna see what path he takes. Goes on the left, a little bit of a riskier maneuver, but whatever gets him through the obstacle gets him through, and you can tell he's pretty happy about that. He just took a few seconds to celebrate. But however, we need to stay focused on the time. Kyle probably would have timed out if he didn't fail right there at the end of the course. So Corrupted needs to keep moving. It looks like he's still celebrating there after beating Silk Slider. Can't imagine what his celebration would be after he beats Whirlpool, but he's got to beat the obstacle first. This obstacle can eat up a lot of time, but it looks like he's going a lot faster on this obstacle than a lot of people have, and he gets onto that final cyclone. Here we go. Can he get this dismount off? He gets caught! No, Corrupted! Looks like he would have had it, but he botches that final jump, got caught on that little window there, and as a result did not get the distance needed because he had the height, just got blocked with that distance, and that's gonna send Corrupted Warlord out on the same spot that he filled last tournament, 2 places in a row for Corrupted Warlord. The 30th competitor to run the first stage wants to improve on their run from last tournament. That competitor is Bowsy Pie. Bao is one of the top dogs of Roblox Ninja, and it's expected that in every competition he runs, he either wins or gets incredibly close. This has been the same for years, but that couldn't have been more true, especially recently, with him taking home 3 Grand Championships in the span of less than a year. Blue Ninja Warrior, Rising Ninja Warrior, and Yasuke have now included him as a Grand Champion in their Hall of Fame, and Bao only wants to add his name into more groups as time goes on. His ability to perform is unmatched when it comes to his consistency. Virtually no one expects him to fail before the 3rd stage. Given all the success, Bao was expected to once again have a great performance in Robloxian SASUKE 2, but to the shock of all, and even himself, he went down only 3 obstacles into the tournament when he mistimed the 2nd transition of Whirlpool, much sooner than anyone could have expected when he just whiffed it right there. So Bao, he has a lot of expectations here. He knows what he wants to accomplish, and he was almost kind of hesitant to even run this tournament. He was afraid that he would have the same result here. He's dedicating this run to Ultimate Ninja Challenge, a former competition held by Tobis12345, one of the all-time greats of Roblox Ninja. So he has a lot of supporters here, even though there are none on this island. You can tell that Blue is listening somehow, some way. So Bowsy Pie, for the 2nd time, runner number 30 is off onto the 1st stage. This first obstacle, a lot different than it was last tournament. Looks like he's having no worries at all on this obstacle. He gets through it, and now Silk Slider's up next. This obstacle and this course in general has been really a test for Bowsy Pie. A lot of these obstacles he's not really been the most comfortable on, but so far 2 for 2 this tournament, and now on to Whirlpool. He spent a ridiculous amount of time on this obstacle last tournament, just could not find the right pattern for it, but it looks like he's found it right off the bat there. Going great through that. The Speed Demon Bowsy Pie, looks like we might be seeing a return from it here, making his way onto the dismount. This obstacle, he's got it. You can at least pretty excited about that. Uncharted territory here for Bowsy Pie. Swinging Forest is up next. Got that swing, and he's going fast. Tried to avoid a mistake. Bowsy Pie fumbles the bag there on Swinging Forest. Went a little bit too fast and ended up getting caught up there on that 3rd rope, and that caused him to not get enough distance. But he says that he's satisfied, and you know that has to feel good considering he went down 1 obstacle beforehand, and to see him go down not a little bit farther afterwards, but still was able to improve is something good to see. And with that, day 1 of Robloxian SASUKE 3 has come to a close. The first 30 competitors kicked off the tournament, but the results were not as expected. The multiple changes on the course did their damage on this first wave of competitors, as only 3 could make it farther than the halfway point on this course. And even still, only 1, Jacozy, could make it through all 8 obstacles and advance to the 2nd stage. This first stage is proving to be the hardest that we've ever seen, and with only 1 through the stage already, it's hard to tell how many can join them. But these competitors are tough and will not go quietly as seen by today. So no matter what, they're going to put up a fight. And next time, 40 competitors will do just that. They're filled with more competitors that can go all the way like Crusher Leafy, a 2-time 2nd stage veteran, and Blue Ninja Warrior. Comet Wave, one of the oldest members of the community that has only recently made his return. Craft Battle Duty 0828, the host of Craft SASUKE, and Nebula Deception, the first and only Grand Champion of Classic Robloxian SASUKE. Those 4 and 36 others next episode. Until then, this is Jamie Dorino signing off. We'll see you next time for Robloxian SASUKE.